Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can record or amplify yourself when playing Pandeiro. The first one is going to be just on your phone, second one is a live dynamic mic, and the third is a clip-on mic. And give you my thoughts on what I think of each one and how it can affect your sound. A bit of context, I'm no audio engineer, I don't know all that much about microphones, so there won't be any microphone jargon, it'll just be from the perspective of a musician who plays this instrument. To make sure that this test is as accurate as possible, I'm going to play the same thing 3 times, or as close to the same thing as I can. I'm also going to try and keep the Pandeiro tuned at the same sort of pitch for each take. And thirdly, I'm going to keep all of the settings the same, so it's just going to be the raw audio from the microphone. There won't be any EQ or reverb put onto anything. The only settings I'm going to change are the gain on my audio interface between the dynamic mic and the clip-on. First of all, the phone. This might seem like an obscure choice at first, but actually the last couple of years it's the thing that I've recorded myself on the most playing Pandeiro or any other instrument, because I film my practice and put it on Instagram. Also, with the year that we've just had, I've done quite a lot of live streams teaching Pandeiro just using my phone, and that seems to work great as well. And until gigs come back, it's probably the closest thing that we've got to any sort of performance is just recording ourselves on our phones and putting it out there. So for this test, I decided to keep my phone as close to the Pandeiro as I could, unlike most gig situations where it's just on the floor, and I just left it on top of my Roland SPD. Okay, so that's a good baseline that we've got with the phone. Moving on now to using the dynamic mic. I'm actually really surprised I caught that. So this mic is a pretty bog standard dynamic mic that you'd see at any venue or gig or rehearsal space, and you can use it to mic up almost anything. I don't even know what model this is, but it's a Shure dynamic mic. I know from experience that this is going to sound a lot better than just using a phone. How much better? I don't quite know. Here's a really good place to talk about mic positioning for any kind of microphone you're going to be using in a gig or recording studio context. Apologies for the footage being out of focus, and I'm just way too lazy to reshoot it. So you want the microphone to be below the instrument, but as close as possible. That way the mic can pick up all the tones and bass information from the instrument. If it were above, you would just get the jingles and the placinellas, but none of the bass stuff, which is what you really want. Okay, so definitely better than the phone, and by quite a big margin. It's also really useful just being able to go to a gig, put it on a stand, have it kind of below your Pandeiro, and then just play. The only downside is that you can't really move away from this microphone. Wherever it is in place, you need to stay as close to that as possible without much variation. You don't have a lot of room to breathe. You can't run around or anything, otherwise you just won't be heard, especially if you're using a hide head Pandeiro. And that leads us to our third option, a clip-on mic. So this is the Audio-Technica Pro 35 clip-on microphone. I've heard it being used before from friends, and I got it at the start of the year, and honestly it's totally changed my playing. Like, just being able to hear how this affects my sound, it's been really inspiring and like really made me want to play Pandeiro in practice. Most clip-on mics are dead easy to put on. You just clip it to the opposite side of where you're holding it on the drum and point the mic towards the center of the skin. That way you're likely to pick up everything pretty evenly. Okay, let's have a listen to all of the tracks back to back. 4. So at this point, come on, behave. So at this point, I had recorded some initial thoughts, and actually I've had a change of heart since recording that. And I found things that I like in each microphone rather than picking a kind of overall favourite. Having said that, my overall favourite is the clip-on, because it's a really great experience as a player to just be able to clip on and not worry about being too far away from the mic. It's always going to stay on. There are cases where they can fall off, but it's a pretty easy fix rather than feeling the need to stay still in one place all night, you know, which isn't really the type of performer I am. It also kind of captures the sound that I want to have, which is a versatile drum kit in a frame drum. That's what I'm after, and the clip-on does that really well. It misses out some of the kind of mid-tones of the whole instrument, but the dynamic mic actually threw me back a bit because I had that lower my expectations when actually it gives a really true to what the actual ear can hear. So overall, if I had to choose for a gig, I would use a clip-on. And even for nowadays, for my Instagram posts, I use the clip-on mic and edit all the videos down and mix the audio and take a bit of extra care with all the things that I post. Having said that, if you don't have a microphone but want to play Pandeiro at a gig, just take it and you might not get mic'd up at all. Depending on the situation, that's totally fine. If you want to just record yourself and post it online, just use your phone. You don't need any of the extra stuff. It still sounds great. So that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it this far in the video. If you've got any thoughts you want to share about the video, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to chat to you about it. If you like what I'm doing on the channel so far, then be sure to subscribe for more. Until next time, bye.